Hello, hello, hello. We are live, and today's topic is keynote speaking. And specifically, if you're the person within your organization is responsible for looking at different people, your groups, and even sometimes, to your members, then this video is for you. Now, interestingly, somebody said to me recently, Jenny, I definitely want to get out there and speak more. I don't want to come across as some sort of narcissistic, look at me, here I am. Well, when you're at the front of a room or at the front of a computer, you will be the person that they're looking at. But you don't have to show up as a narcissist. You don't have to show up as a school teacher, if no offense to the school teachers. This isn't about a dictatorship or anything else like that. So I wanted to share in this few minutes that we've got just 3 things that I hold really dear when it comes to keynote speaking. I also want to let you know how you can book me to speak and why I'm actually going to share that. I'm recording this at this time at the end of December 2023, but why I'm sharing that now and what it could do for the people that you are responsible for the people that you are looking to help grow their knowledge or develop personally in some sort of way. So, just in case you've stumbled across this video, you've connected with me recently, maybe subscribed over on my YouTube channel or connected with me over on LinkedIn, that's me, Jenny Kovacs, Visibility Queen. I'm actually known as the Queen of Being Seen. I have to say that slowly, otherwise my tongue and my teeth fall out. But the reason I'm known as the Queen of Being Seen is because I'm passionate about you being able to put yourself out there, raise your professional profile, be taken seriously, and just be the best that you can be. So 3 things that I feel are important, and they're my top 3 goals, if you like, my top 3 aims when it comes to keynote speaking. So the first one, and anyone of you who's like watching or listening to this who have booked me will know this because I quite frequently will tell you this. My job is to make you look like a legend. My job is, for some of you, especially the first time you've ever booked me, you've taken a bet on what I'm going to be like as a speaker, what I'm going to be like with your audience, the audience that you have like painstakingly worked so hard to put together. So I want to make you look like an absolute legend so that people will say, definitely leave you responsible to do this again. Definitely have you, select our experts again. Definitely trust in your judgment, because when you think about it and we build relationships, what are relationships about if not about connection and trust of each other? So to me, that's literally the most important thing. It's often not about where I've spoken at before, who I've spoken to, the rooms that I've been in, the places that I've been. And I've been in some pretty pinch me places. I've also helped a lot of other people to achieve their dreams. So TEDx talks are some example. Although once you get into a TED talk, anyone will tell you they have their own coaches there. But sometimes people have come to me because they've needed to pitch a talk. In fact, I've helped three people to pitch successfully for their TED talk. And sometimes, people will be wondering, well, where's the best fit? That comes through when people ask me, and I'm just thinking about a couple of recent conversations, but, when people say to me, I really want to get out there and speak more, how do I get the gigs, is where their brain goes to. So instead of asking that, there are better questions to ask. If you want to know more, have a look at my YouTube channel, because I talk a bit about the whole kind of speaking bit on that. So first thing is, I want to make the person who's booked me, hired me, or the person within the organization or the institution or the association look like an absolute legend. I want people to be going up to them, patting them on the back and saying, yeah, that was great. Thanks for organizing that. So the second thing that I always want to do is I aim to inspire. But I actually aim to inspire action. And here's how that kind of biscuit trail goes. I really want people to describe my talks and what I share as thought-provoking. But thought-provoking alone isn't enough, and here's why. If they hear something that starts provoking thought, then it usually means that they're on the path or already starting to think differently about a situation, about a scenario, about their lives, about what's possible for them, about opportunities in front of them. And when that happens and they start to think differently about that, there's a certain level of clarity that comes with it. And when that person has clarity, it means that they make better decisions for themselves. They know where their yeses are, where their nos are. They know more of what they want. They do less of what they feel that they should do. So that clarity then turns into action. So I like thought provoking. Thought provoking turns to thinking differently. Thinking differently about themselves leads to clarity, and that clarity leads to, I want to say an action, but sometimes it's multiple actions. And the best thing about that sequence of events is that it has a really great ripple effect. People around them start to notice the difference. It's the reason why when somebody says to me, "Oh, you did that talk, how was it?" I don't feel like I'm the best person to answer. The people who listened to it or were part of it are the people that can give the answer. And this is why one of the questions I will always ask somebody is, was that okay? And to be honest with you, if it comes back that it wasn't okay, I care about that as well. I will look at what it will take to do something differently to change that result. I will look at how can I improve on what I've done this time for next time. How can I be flexible? How can I change it? So I like to hear all feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly. Quite often I do get good feedback, and only then can I say, yes, it went really well because of the feedback that I've got. So then the third thing is, one of the aims, or the third aim that I have when I'm keynote speaking, is to have what I'm sharing be practical. I think it was ER or one of those programs. It was an American program that used to talk about a guy saying, well, that's another hour of my life wasted. If I've been speaking to your audience for an hour, for 45 minutes, for 90 minutes, for a day, which sometimes happened as well, or I'm training or delivering a workshop, I don't want your people sitting there pretending to write notes and writing a shopping list or thinking about all the other things they could be doing because they've had their time stolen from them. So I always want things that are practical. Now, in order to do this, some things will take more explanation, some things will take a bit of getting used to, but I will always give something that they can do something with that straight away. Now, whether the audience decide to take an action and do something with that is a whole other level. But when they have something that is practical, this actually enthuses them in a way that means that I don't need to be there all the time cracking the whip. You don't need to be there all the time cracking the whip. And they feel excited, engaged, enthused to go off and do the thing, be the thing, have the thing. Okay. So the three most important aims for me when keynote speaking are making you, the hirer, or the person who's booking me, look like an absolute legend, provoking the sort of thought that goes down the trail and has people take an action, and also some practical tools and tips that people can do something with right away. So they're excited and engaged and enthused. Now, those are just some of the things that I picked. I only picked 3. I could have picked a lot more, but I recognize as a very busy person with not a lot of time, I hope that this is beneficial to you. And I know that some of you might be watching this because you are speakers and you want to, which is another thing I'm hearing, you want to do more speaking, you want to get out there more. Either way, whether you're the person hiring or the person looking to speak, I hope that these have been useful to you. So today, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to tell you why, but I'm going to ask you that if you are looking for a speaker for your conference, speaker for your team of professionals, speaker even internally within your organization, I would love you to get in touch with me. So here's what you would need to do. Either send me a message, private message wherever you're watching this, and comment below this with the word speak. Okay, so that way I know that you're interested in having me speak. Maybe it's something that you're doing. What I'll then do is I'll send a link for you to book. Now, here's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I've actually been booked 3 times already to speak. In fact, I'm speaking in January for you professional financial service professionals. I'm actually going to be doing something for the PFS, so I can't wait to do that. So if that's of interest to you, let me know and I'll send you the link to book, because you don't actually have to be a member to get access to this talk. And we're going to be talking about raising your professional profile, my favorite topic. I've also been already booked to speak on International Women's Day, and I've also got a speaking gig that's lined up for June. This is a bit strange to me because quite often I do get booked in advance, but not normally so far in advance, which all of these people have done. So there's something in the air. So what I'm inviting you to do is to either comment below with the word speak, send me a private message, or even look at my website and go from there. And I'll send you a link to schedule a call. But here's what I need you to know. In order to start having these conversations about speaking and speaking to your audience, I need 3 things from you. I need you to be a stakeholder. So I need you to be the person who needs to know about this. Because what I'm finding is sometimes people are just curious. They'll book a call, we'll have a chat, but there's nothing they can do. They don't have the level of influence that they might want to within the organisation or the industry, or even the association institution. And that just becomes frustrating for them and not best use of time for either of us, because I know that your time and my time are really precious. So the first thing I need you to do is to make sure that you have the stakeholder on the phone. And if there's more than one of you, let's organize something where we can all be together at the same time. That call will be no more than 30 minutes and can be even shorter often. Second thing I need you to do is to make sure that you have a budget. Again, a lot of people will come to me and say, oh, Jenny, I really need you to do this. I'll buy you a coffee, which is really lovely. But number 1, don't drink coffee. I like a mean hot chocolate. But number 2, buying me coffee is not an equal exchange of the value that I can deliver to your teams, your organization, your people. So thank you so much. But also I found of late that when I have tried to pay my bills with, a coffee or someone bought me a meal, it doesn't quite work. I think you catch my drift. So make sure that you have got a budget, at least a budget in mind, or access to a budget. I'll always work with you to see what we can do together and to make it work for all of us, you, me, and your organisation. And then the third thing that I will say is I am a visibility specialist, known as the Queen of Being Seen. Why am I reiterating that? Because sometimes people will come to me and say, you're such an articulate speaker, and we'd love you to speak on diversity, inclusion, and equity. And despite my meddling, I do not speak about diversity, inclusion, and equity. Of course, there will be some of my real life stories that, depending on the topic, might be the thing that I share with your audience, but I'm not a DEI specialist. However, if you do want a really great DEI speaker, let me know anyway, and I'll definitely point you in the direction of some phenomenal people. But again, make sure that you're the stakeholder or stakeholders, and make sure that you've got a budget, because the worst thing that I could do is then refer you on to somebody else, and then you have that awkward conversation where they ask you what your budget is and you do it for the exposure. So those are the 3 things I would say. Make sure that you're the stakeholder, make sure that you've got a budget or access to a budget, and that you're able to influence that and have those conversations about budget. I'm not shy of those. And do make sure that you know that I'm not a DEI specialist. I speak on visibility, of course. I share my own visibility activator system. I talk about mindset, I talk about tenacity, and I talk about sales and motivation. So anything that's visibility, impact, sales and motivation, by all means, I'll always speak about. If there's any other topics that you think, do you speak about this, then by all means, put it in the message. We don't have to have a half an hour call to find out. If it's something I do, then we can move forward with the call. If it's something that I don't, then I've saved your time. And usually, as with a couple of the BBC radio interviews that I got asked to do, if there is somebody that could represent the topic that you want much better than me, I will always tell you. I won't go away and research it and try and fake it till I make it. So if there are other people that can, represent the topic that you want much better than me, not only will I tell you, I'll make the introduction so that you get the best person at your conference, in your organization, in your industry, and that you look like a rock star too. Hopefully that makes sense. And I can't wait to hear from you. So if you want to get in touch, remember, either just comment below with the word speak, or send me a message and I will send you a link, and we'll get chatting about what I can do when I speak to your organization or you next year. Thank you so much, and bye for now.